Let's talk about the Broncos getting bought out by Walmart, PFF ranking Coach Reid as a Hall of Fame coach, which is a given by the way, and also discuss how the Aaron Donadl contract will impact Chris Jones's future with the Chiefs, and much more. But first, how about those?
From the top of a mountain in Alaska, how about those Chiefs?
What's up, guys? My name is Cole, aka the bearded, beefy, baldy broham, and I do daily news about the Chiefs and the NFL overall, so I'm gonna need you to sub if you're new, hit that like button if you are excited about the Broncos being purchased by Walmart so they can now provide a great value to those around them, and let's get into this news. Today marks the start of the last week of OTAs for the Chiefs. They will meet from June 7th, which is today. I just checked the calendar on my computer, to June 10th, so be on the lookout for more 8-second clips on social media that aim to do nothing more than hype up the fan base without giving any real context to how things are really even going. And then to note as well, the Chiefs mandatory minicamp is next week, and that is June 14th through 16th. It is also mandatory that you all show up and watch them practice. All right, this is pretty cool, y'all. Very recently, the Kansas City Ambassadors and alumni hosted the 2022 Kansas City Ambassador Gala that helped raise funds for more than 25 local nonprofits, including Camp Quality and Big Brothers Big Sisters of KC. And get this, $242,920 was raised, which is an all-time record in the 26-year history of this event. So you gotta love that. Let's freaking go. And then in some pretty big news, breaking news in fact, Rob Walton is a 77-year-old man who is filthy, stinking rich because his dad just so happens to be Sam Walton, you know, the Walmart guy. And good old Sam left Rob his Walmart fortune when he died, and well, Rob Walton will win the bidding for the Denver Broncos. The winning bid is expected to be about $4.5 billion with a B. And get this, this is the most expensive team sale in history, and it's set to be announced as soon as this month. The most expensive team sale in history? Why? Who would want to pay that much for a team that Patrick Mahomes has basically owned free of charge since 2018? That's really freaking crazy to me, but because of this, there are some changes happening with the team. They will officially be changing their name simply to the Wal-Mart Broncos, which makes sense to me as they are basically the great value brand of the AFC West. So, great job, Wal-Mart Broncos.
Broncos country, let's ride.
And speaking of quarterbacks like Russell, Let's Ride Wilson, who left their previous team for potentially greener pastures, Colts QB Matt Ryan made the news recently, and he has a very cool opportunity that I need to make you all aware of. He has a chance to become the first QB in NFL history to lose to all 32 NFL teams. Listen to this snippet from John Breach of CBS Sports, the little savage. He says this: there are 32 teams in the NFL, and over the course of league history, no QB has ever lost to all of them, but that's something that could change in 2022 thanks to Matt Ryan. To sum it up for you, no QB has ever even lost to 31 teams, let alone 32, but 7 QBs have lost to 30 teams. Well, Matt Ryan, as of right now, has lost to 29 teams and will play 2 of the 3 teams he's never lost to this season, which are the Jaguars and the Raiders. If he somehow loses to both of them, he will have lost to 31 teams, which is an NFL record for losers. And the last team he's never lost to, can y'all guess what team that is? That's right, it's the Atlanta Falcons, you know, the team he's played for his entire career in the NFL up until now. Anyway, he plays them in 2023, and I pray to the good Lord above that he loses to the Jags and the Raiders this year, as well as the Falcons next season, because I want this record to be claimed by someone. I mean, I would prefer it, greatly prefer it, honestly, if this record went to a more deserving QB, someone like, I don't know, Derek Carr, but Matt Ryan will do just nicely. And then PFF just recently dropped an article ranking the top 10 coaches in the NFL, and they say basically ranking head coaches from an analytics perspective is a Sisyphean task. And if you, like me, are wondering what on earth this stupid word Sisyphean means, it basically means impossible. It's an impossible task. PFF, I get it. You guys are smart, but what are we doing here with this word, you little weirdos? Anyway, they go on to break down how they figured these rankings, trying to properly account for teams' talent level, creating a multi-level model where they look at salaries of each starter on the team, the number of rookies that are starters, and a whole bunch of other stuff that I do not really care to mention. But upon figuring all that into their cute little formula, here's the top 5 coaches that I will share with you all. 5th is Pete Carroll, the Seahawks guy. 4th is Cliff Kingsbury with the Cardinals. And then the top 3 are labeled in the Hall of Fame coaches tier. And in 3rd is Andy Reid, Big Red himself. And they say this, one of the best offensive minds in the league for over 2 decades. Reid comes in at the bottom of this Hall of Fame tier. I mean, that makes it sound bad. What the heck? This is mostly due to his defenses, which are usually not much to complain about, but that does knock him when compared to the best of the best. Well, yeah, defenses under Coach Reid at times makes me so stressed during games that I can barely stomach the back and forth shootouts and quite possibly need a nap after every game. But hey, top 3, I'll freaking take it. And 2nd is John Harbaugh of the Ravens. And in 1st place is, yeah, you guessed it, Bill Spygate, Deflategate, y'all need to go try Gates, barbecue in Kansas City, Belichick. And they simply say, Bill Belichick is the best head coach in NFL history, moving on. So yes, from Belichick, we will move on, but I just wanted to make note that Coach Reid is a legend, and we here in Chiefs Kingdom are lucky to have this guy as our coach, and hopefully he will coach for about 5 more years, maybe longer, but we shall see. Let's keep it rolling here on the PFF train, because just yesterday, they released an article ranking the top 32 outside cornerbacks entering the 2022 NFL season, and one of the Chiefs' own, made the list, albeit at the bottom of it, and that player is Rashad Fenton, who was ranked 31st on this list and placed in the up-and-comers tier, even though he's entering his 4th season in the NFL, and this is what they had to say. Fenton has quietly been highly reliable over his 3-year NFL career, despite being a 6th round pick in the 2019 NFL draft. The former South Carolina Gamecock owns the 2nd highest career coverage grade among cornerbacks in that class with an 83. And that is actually amazing if we're going to be honest, a 6th round pick with the 2nd highest career coverage grade among cornerbacks in that draft class. That's crazy. Anyway, he fell in the draft partly because of subpar physical traits for NFL standards, but that hasn't been an issue. His tackling stands out more than any other part of his game, as he has missed just twice on 103 attempts since 2019. All right, while this was cool to read, something is fishy here, in my opinion, regarding Fenton. In fact, it smells like frozen fish sticks, if we're going to be honest, and this is something that John Dixon from Arrowhead Pride noticed as well. He says, Fenton appears to have been placed in the bottom tier strictly because he is a 4th-year player, a la his overall age, but this makes very little sense because under PFF's grading system, Fenton's 2021 overall grade of 79.1 ranked 6th among all cornerbacks. That grade was higher than those for 7 of the 9 cornerbacks listed in this elite tier of this silly little article. So yeah, this is a bit odd to see Fenton so low on this list, possibly not getting the shine he so deserves. And in case you were wondering who was at the top of the article, it was Jalen, I get burned in the Super Bowl, Ramsey. But yeah, he is a great corner. Anyway, speaking of Rashad Fenton, how the heck is this man's shoulder doing? I know he's rehabbing it now, but in the back of my mind, it makes me wonder because I've had 2 shoulder surgeries myself. So I wonder, how is this man really doing? I believe Veach said he should be good to go by mandatory minicamp, but he did not specify whether or not Fenton actually had like a shoulder surgery, a scope, or a cleanup or anything like that. So hopefully this man is healthy and good to go, and hopefully this man is not upset with me personally, because yesterday he posted this on his Instagram stories of him golfing and asked, where to next? Well, I may or may not have responded and said, maybe to OTAs. I don't know, just saying. And then we've got to talk about some massive news yesterday in the realm of the NFL, because the Rams have reworked all-world DT Aaron Donald's 3 remaining contract years to give him a massive $40 million raise through 2024, making him the highest paid non-QB in NFL history at 31 years old. I'm going to say that again. This makes him the highest paid non-QB in NFL history at the age of 31. He gets $95 million through 2024. And get this, the move is absolutely unprecedented because no new years were added. And he makes $65 million by 2023 and $95 million by 2024. Holy freaking smokes, man. He is now the first non-QB to eclipse $30 million per year. And in case you were wondering, the deal was negotiated by some guy named Todd, who we honestly do not give a crap about. But guys, this is an insane deal. He was not extended to play any additional years on his contract, just getting a big ol' fat raise. Basically, he talked about retiring this year and was fine with walking away from it all, unless the Rams threw a few cargo airplanes full of cash at him. Then he said, oh, okay, yeah, I think I'll play again. So Donald reset the market atop which he already sat, going from a league-leading $22.5 million per year to $31.6 million per year on average. The new average compensation is now $10 million more per year than the next closest interior defensive lineman, who is the Giants' Leonard Williams.
What's up, it's Aaron Donadl. You locked back in. Let's go get us another ring. Why not? In SoFi Stadium. Getting the chills thinking about it. Let's go to work.
Okay, so the question here is, how on earth is this going to affect Chris Jones with the Chiefs? Because depending on who you ask, and most would agree here, Chris Jones is the second or third best defensive tackle in the league outside of Aaron Donald himself, yet is paid fourth most for a defensive tackle at $20 million per year, which before this massive raise was only about $2 million per year less than the best man in the entire league. Well, now he's over $11 million per year behind Donald, and I have a feeling Chris Jones is going to want a piece of the pie, if you will, if this deal does indeed reset the market for defensive tackles. If you look at his contract now, he's on a 4-year, $80 million deal. This year, for sure, he is not going anywhere with a cap hit of $29 million and a dead cap of $36 million. But next year, there's a potential out here with a dead cap hit of only $7 million. So I know I've been talking a lot of numbers here, but I say all of this to say, will Chris Jones be on the Chiefs in 2023, or will he end up getting traded for probably a low first or high second round draft pick? Well, there's a couple things to look at here. First, he will be 29 next year, and Brett Veach, in his tenure of GM with the Chiefs, have never signed anyone over the age of 28. At least I'm pretty sure it's over the age of 28 to a large deal. And second, again, Jones is going to want some potentially big money on the next extension because of what just happened to 31-year-old Aaron Donald, for one, but also because he does kind of deserve it. I mean, he's a baller. PFF recently listed Chris Jones the third most impactful interior defensive lineman and said this about him: Jones isn't the same reliable run defender that Cameron Hayward is, who they listed as number 2 on the list, by the way, but he's the most disruptive interior pass rusher in the NFL outside of Aaron Donald. Jones has recorded a 17.8 pass rush win rate, say that 5 times fast, since he was drafted in 2016. The only other interior defensive lineman with a pass rush win rate over 16% in that 6-year stretch is Donald at 23.3%. So yeah, maybe the Chiefs can work something out with Jones contract-wise, paying him somewhere in the range of mid-20s millions per year. But is that worth it for the team moving forward, given his age and the Chiefs' trend of looking to get younger and cheaper? It is tough questions that we're asking here because I freaking love Chris Jones. I'm just not 100% sure we see him back next year, which is definitely sad to think about here. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments down below. Should we extend Chris Jones next year for a boatload of cash? Do we trade him while he's still in prime-ish playing years and try to get what we can for him and get younger on the line? I will tell you this, and this is not as sad to me, but Frank Clark will not be here next year. That is for sure. So D-line is going to look a lot different potentially in 2023. From here, I want to look at some of my favorite comments from yesterday. Omar Jamal says, tone down the sassiness just a little, buddy. I mean, asking me to tone it down is like asking a child to share their Tinker toys. It's simply not going to happen, bud. Sorry. LA Grange Custom Guitars says, hey, this is your boss. What's this about you wanting to quit your job? Wish granted, you're fired. Well, thank you, boss. Now I can collect my fat stacks of unemployment checks. Jason Richard loves the content and is glad I keep it clean. Well, heck yeah, man. My daughters will eventually have to watch these daily as part of their school requirements because they need to be in the know about all things Chiefs, so I feel that one. Kevin Lederer dropped a $50 super thanks bomb. Y'all are freaking crazy for these. It's nuts. He said, I enjoy your candid comments and he would love for me to go to Stroud's Oak Ridge Manor and have a little dinner. Well, shoot, man, I'm going to have a little chat with my wife, and of course, I will eat a couple rolls for you. Thanks so much, man. Many of you commented yesterday about Kareem Hunt. A lot of you would love to see him back. You think it would make our running game better than it ever is going to be, at least with the 4 that we have right now. Some would like that as well, but thinks the bridge has indeed been burned and there shall be no return because of said bridge. Jaquin, I don't know, says, I think we should give Hunt a second chance in my opinion. Alan DeJong says, where would Hunt play with our current roster? He's a monster. When we had him, he would have to be a cheap deal. And I think maybe because of the injuries that he's had, he's getting a little bit older. I don't know. We could get him for something along the lines of maybe the Rojo deal that we signed for 1 year. Let's put it this way. I'm not sure how realistically ideal Kareem Hunt is to be back in KC, but one like me can certainly dream. Seth McDaniel says, I wanted to comment on at least one video before you completely blow up and start sitting on the panel with Mitch Holthus and Matt McMullen. Keep slaying thy bearded king. Thanks so much, man. I'm not sure if I would ever sit on a panel with those guys, only because I go off on everybody in these videos and I'm not very PR friendly, but you never know. Jan Fry Gable and Adam Lines both sent over $10 super thanks, and Adam says, barbecue or coffee on me, buddy. Well, first, thank you so much, and second, I never turn down barbecue or coffee, so it's on like Donkey Kong. One Eye Willie says, hey, I think you'd look good with a handlebar stash, and to that I say, I'm pretty sure if I did that, my kids would scream whenever they saw me, and my wife would disown me, or at least keep me locked in the basement until the beard grows back. Joel Gilmore hit me with the $5 super thanks, and he's a Cardinals fan, but roots for the Chiefs too because of all the hate on my homeboy lately, and says I'm a very good source for Chiefs news. Well, dude, thanks for not jumping on the Mahomes hate train. He's a very good dude on and off the field, so the hate is pretty much unwarranted in my unbiased opinion, but I appreciate the support, you legend. David Sullivan is a Chiefs fan in London and is coming to Arrowhead in November for the Jags game and gonna get some barbecue, so let's freaking go. Apparition TV says, Cole, you and your majestic beard, which could only be rivaled by Odin himself, would make a fully grown lion. Feel his mane was inadequate and only the start of puberty. That godly beard has become legendary, and the only other thing I can refer to as Big Red in our kingdom. Your channel is amazing, and consistency has become my favorite place for all things Chiefs, and I'd love to collab someday. Well, you're the man for that one. I'm glad I could bring a smile to your face, and I never really thought about that with the Lions and their weak little manes, but I'm going to hold on to that one. Thank you and everybody else for your support. Make sure to comment or leave one below to potentially be featured in an upcoming video. Sub for more daily news like this, and then check out this video here, which is my first ever video that I made on this channel. January 22nd, 2002, I did an injury report before the Buffalo Bills and Chiefs played in the divisional round. So check it out, make a comment, let me know just how crazy it is seeing the changes from then till now. And until next time, let's go. Let's freaking go. How about those?